Hello, welcome to this training video from easyLog. This one is about our easyLog timesheet management system, and it's just a run through of 3 key screens in the setup process just to help you get up and running and be clear about what you need to do. So first thing, let's log in. So the email we would have sent you would have given you a login of administrator, and we would have sent you a password as well. So I'm just going to tap in the one that's appropriate for this system. And what I want to take you through is firstly just employees. So you see you have this column over on the left hand side. I click on employees and then it presents me with a list of them, or this might be blank in your case if you haven't given us details to import for you. So first thing to notice is that we present you with an Excel type of screen where if, for example, you want to sort by first name rather than the default of surname, just click on the column title here and that will organize it in first name alphabetical sequence. Click back onto surname to put it back into the original sequence. Likewise, you have a search facility here, so you have 3 pages here. So if I want to look at anybody whose first name begins with Andrew, Andre, whatever, you can see that they then appear there. If I then just remove that, then they go back to the original sequence. Okay, and that's the same across all the lists that we present. Now, with regard to employees, if you want to edit an existing employee record, just tick on the box next to it and then click on edit, and you see then the record will be presented to you. Now then just cancel to drop out. So if you want to add a new employee record, again the feature's up here, click on add, and then we just need to put in a surname, and most importantly an online ID. So an online ID is the number that this employee, John George, will use in the app that he downloads onto his phone in order to be recognized within the system, and his attendance records that he sends back then being recorded against him. So an online ID obviously must be a unique number. So we therefore would just put in the next whatever number associated that we want to use, and then just save it. If that's a mistake, obviously it will show you here that that's an error, and we then go back and put in a different one to be correct. There we are, that is correct. Okay, so that's employees. All you need to do is put in a minimum of a name and the online ID. As you can see, if I take a look at this record here, there is a lot more information on here, but you don't need to fill that in. It's entirely up to you whether you wish to fill in address details, emergency contact, that kind of thing, which may well, in your case, be held in an HR system elsewhere, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, 2 other things then we need to take a look at. Clients. So we click on clients. This is, as it suggests, is the name of the site, the customer that your employees are going to be visiting and recording their attendance there. Now again, similar to employees, you've got lots of other information you can put in here, such as the address, and there's contact information as well. Notice again it's presented in a list. You have a search facility, so again we present this Excel type of format here. But if you want to add a new employee, all you need to do is simply put in the name, and that's it. So, and let's make this one up here. There you go, and then save it, and that's it. And there you see it's been added in there. Now, critical to the process is the location, because the location provides the definition of the sites that your employees are going to, and that is linked to the client record we have just created, or the client records you have in the system. So for example, if I look at these 2 here, we can see we've got a contract with Greg's, and we go to Greg's in Andover and Greg's in Uxbridge. But notice over in the client side of things, we have created 2 separate clients, one called Greg's Andover and one called Greg's Uxbridge. If we therefore go into Greg's in Andover, I just tick against it, click on edit at the top. You can see there's 5 or 6 pieces of information here, but at the bottom we've got Greg's Andover, and you see that is selected from the drop-down list that you would have created by entering your client records, the client names, in the client function over here. So our description is Greg's Andover. we're going to use the QR code that's representing number 7. We would have supplied you with a number of QR codes which are number from 1 upwards, so each is clearly marked, so you would have a number picking number 7, then that's the one you would print out and take to Greg's at Andover. We have a tolerance of 75 meters. That's what we recommend. There are basically some things within mobile phone technology which are out of easyLog's control, as it were. So when the person using our app scans number 7, as you probably are aware, it captures the latitude and longitude, the GPS coordinates of where that scanning takes place in the world, and then compares it with the record here in order to define and ascertain that that record and that QR code are held in the right place and the person scanned it from the right place when they recorded their attendance. Now, the thing depends on, the recording depends on the quality of the phone they're using, the age of the phone. Obviously a newer phone, a better quality phone, more expensive phone, etc. will give you a more accurate GPS reading. There are also little subtleties as well about the number of satellites that are overhead. Obviously a rural area probably has less satellite intensity than an urban area, etc. So you will notice as you start using the system and as it shows you the latitude and longitude captured against each clocking, that even if somebody is in exactly the same place, they then clock again just a second or two later, those latitude and longitude coordinates will vary very, very slightly, and that's just the way it is. And therefore putting in a tolerance of 75 meters means that as long as the GPS, the latitude and longitude record that's captured is within 75 meters of where you've defined it here, then you can be absolutely guaranteed the person was where you wanted them to be when they scanned that QR code representing Greg's at Andover, or whoever your customer is. So, how do we put in the latitude and longitude? The best way to do it, we feel, is for you or a trusted person to get the QR code, this case number 7, take it to the customer's site, and then using the app, just clock in on clock out 3 or 4 times in order to then generate latitude and longitude coordinates for that particular clocking, for that particular site. Then you go into the software and then click on this button here, average location from clocking, because what that's going to do is going to look at those 5 or 6 records that you created at the site, pull them together, and then produce an average of the latitude and longitude and automatically insert it in there. So you can be absolutely certain that the latitude and longitude that appears in there is the ones that you have created from, say, yourself or a trusted person scanning that QR code, and therefore they will be accumulated, averaged, and put into there automatically, so that you say you have certainty that the QR code is exactly where you want it to be. And if somebody takes a copy of that QR code, takes a photograph, scans it from elsewhere, they will get found out because it will not match against this latitude and longitude. Okay, so once we've done that, we can click on Save. And this short video now comes to an end. We have other ones as well in terms of things about reporting. So watch out for those. And thank you for listening.